Wow. What do you think of that? What don't you think of that? I think that girl's got everything that she wants.
That'll do, Peg. That'll do.
That was a great film.
Because this is what I'm going to paint my toenails. A white, but then put the gold over the top.
Oh yeah, you looked at mine.
Yeah, so you've painted them.
Yes, I put my purple on and then I got my red delivered, so I just went over the top with the red.
I'm going white and then the gold over the top.
Nice.
That's the plan.
Just looking at my Klarna payments. I need to like get rid of Klarna, but I always do Shein.
Yeah, I feel a little bit obsessed with Shein at the moment.
Yeah.
But
Do you do it on Klarna?
sometimes,
Yeah.
sometimes. And then I've got the other one as well. Something Pay. The little greeny one, greeny blue colour.
Where is the next one?
Because sometimes Klarna won't let me do the free payments because it's under a certain amount, but the other one will let me do it.
Yeah.
So I use whichever one's going to let me pay the least. But
10th.
my legs are ow, my knee. Oh my god, I'm so fucking old. It's stupid
What, that you're so old?
how much my body's letting me know I'm old. I crack.
Where is the August one? There. It's weird.
But yeah, me and the eldest are a little bit invested in Vinted at the moment.
Vinted is good, but I don't know. It reminds me of early days of eBay. Have you pressed record?
Yeah.
Sweet. It reminds me, do you remember when it first came out and then you go on there and find a few bits and bobs?
Yeah. I mean, I do stick to either new with tags or new without tags. I do stick with that, which means they've been worn maybe once.
Yeah.
Possibly twice.
I don't mind. I really don't care.
But he loves it. He loves it.
You can get some really cool stuff on there.
Yes, you've got some brilliant bits and pieces. Like,
Oh. I want to show my vagina.
you're welcome.
I will go home and put on my shortest shorts. I go home, shortest shorts, mate, and a vest top.
Yeah. The loosest shorts. You know, that spider is definitely going to pay a visit.
Yeah, up the shorts.
Found a cave.
Right, should we jump straight in?
Yes.
Hello everyone and welcome to Middle-Aged Opinion. I'm your host Ellie.
And I'm your host Emily, and today we are looking at bad landlords / tenants.
Yes.
/
I think I found more about tenants than anything else.
Oh, it's a little bit in between.
Yeah, I said to you, like, when I looked it up, but I did find some good ones. I'm not sure, I can't remember if I read them all. I feel like I did, but I was busy.
One is making the other's life difficult.
Yeah.
Basic.
As people always do.
Yeah. We love a bit of
I read one
drama.
and then it was murdered in the house and I was like, yeah, I'm not reading that. It's too that's not where my head's at, man. We're sanding. We're not depressed
Murdered.
about that.
Murdered.
And I was like, unless I've kept it. And I was like, yay. Like, you're citing us.
Alright, hold on, I'm trying. Which one?
How many have you saved? Every
No,
single time.
about 6.
Not bad.
About 6, I think. Not that one. I wanted.
You need a fan in here
Well, I would, but it's so loud.
that we won't hear the podcast.
The drama I would have trying to drown it out.
Yeah.
I ain't got the effort. I'm sorry.
I get it.
I don't have the effort.
I get it. And I'm like, next time you've got to upload loads of pictures.
Yeah. Yay. Right, this one. I'm going to read this one.
Okay.
If it opens. Yay. Yay. We are cooking
Fucking hell,
with
that's
gas. What?
slightly too big.
No, it's not. What, the writing? Actual?
Yeah.
Oh, shut up. Anyway.
She's going, blind people.
I'm not.
You
It
clearly
just
are.
makes it easy for me to follow. That's all.
Me, I have to move it along so it comes out of the screen.
That's
Otherwise
what
I
I'm
get
trying to
confused.
do.
Yeah. I'm like,
Right. Sent his son to take the breaker to the AC until bleh. blah, blah, blah,
blah, blah.
Sent his son to take the breaker to the AC unit today.
America.
Massively. We live in Texas. 2 months ago, we lost our jobs due to our company closing. We worked at the same place. My husband was able to find a job right away, but I was having trouble. We got a month behind the rent, told the landlord we were waiting on income tax to catch it up and move back to our hometown where we could find better paying work.
Fair enough.
Now another month, still no income tax. They sent a letter saying that it could be another 6 weeks. My husband went back home to get a job and house. We feel bad that it is happening this way, but I'm not going to put my kids and elderly mother on the street. We had an eviction and court day and was willing to accept the judgment on our record. We should have been better prepared. Now where the landlord gets shitty is our county set a letter stating that evictions have been put on hold. I understand it sucks for him, but we are grateful for the buffer to get set up back home. The landlord is pissed and sent his son, who owns a heating and aircon company, to pull the breaker. And the whole situation was shady as fuck. We see him pull up, go straight to the backyard and open the gate. I met him there and asked what's up. He says that he needed to inspect the unit, says it's dirty and will schedule a day to come clean it. We have 2 dogs that torn into the house, and I went inside to settle them down. When I come back, he is gone. Later, it gets hot. I turn on the AC and notice it is not working. Look at the security camera and holy shit, this dude took the breaker. That's awful.
Listen, 2 wrongs don't make a right.
Nah.
I understand. So here in the
They're
UK...
still going to get their money. They've just got to wait for them to get a job.
I'm not sure how it works in America, but I know here in the UK, so if you fall behind on your rent, I think it's 2 months now, and then you'll serve with something called a Section 21. And then obviously it has to go to court, etc., etc. And most landlords do not get their money back. However, if you go to court and the landlord has done something like pull the breaker or something like that, it goes against them.
Massively.
And then that tenant that ain't even paying rent ain't even getting chucked out because the landlord's done something.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't like landlords because of, they make money on whatever. I don't agree with that. I don't have a problem with landlords. It's a way that they make a living. However,
you've got to be a decent human being.
Yeah. And these people...
And shit happens.
Most people, including myself and Emily, are 1 paycheck away from being on the streets, not being able to pay the mortgage, rent, whatever. So I can completely understand and relate to this person. But it does sound like they're just staying there.
I don't know. I feel like I felt it was they're trying to find somewhere to stay.
Yeah, but she mentions the husband's already gone.
He's gone
Right.
to go and find somewhere. So they've gone back to their hometown. So there must be family there that must be helping him out if he hasn't found a home yet. But until he's found somewhere.
I think it's really petty what the landlord's done. I understand they're missing their money. That might be the only money they've got coming in. Like, this is what I'm saying. A lot of people hate on landlords, but you don't know the circumstance.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, everyone's got to make money, right?
Exactly.
They've all
And
got bills.
some landlords will be living off whatever comes in to either pay the mortgage or living off that as a wage. So again, them not paying the rent is also putting the landlord out. People need to think about that. However, it's pathetic what they've done.
Yeah, they're not
real child fucking.
That's not going to get their money.
It's not going to get them anywhere. In fact, it's going to piss them off more.
Yeah. So top comment is, he can't do that. Call the city code enforcement and get an inspector out.
There you go.
Yeah, get your yard cleaned up because the city is going to stomp on that LL hard.
What is ours called? Health and safety? Environmental health.
Yeah.
That's who we call.
You want to look good to the inspectors. Doing a constructive eviction by pulling the breaker is a big legal no-no. OP replies saying, I called the police as soon as I realised what had happened. I called to file a report and was going to go to a lawyer tomorrow. The police supervisor called him and the son came back within the hour to put it back.
Yeah.
The landlord had now commenced sending harassing text messages, wondering if I should still get the lawyer. Absolutely.
Or save the money for rent.
This lawyer was willing to do this to a family. This landlord was willing to do this to a family with 3 kids and a sick elderly woman during the COVID-19 lockdown. Edit. This is a tiny little town and the landlord is well respected in the community.
Oh, I'm in two minds here. She ain't paying the rent. I think people are forgetting that. I'm not saying what they did was right. It was stupid, proper stupid. But don't spend your money on a lawyer.
No, I feel like if you're getting free legal advice, absolutely do that and threaten them with it.
Yeah. And document everything. But concentrate on getting out of the property and then finding a way to pay him back if you can.
I think respectfully, pay him back. But maybe only up to the point you took the breaker out.
That's what I'm saying. I just feel like the concentration needs to be on getting the family out, because if you're not, I understand you got money coming in 6 weeks and then I'm sure everything will go back to normal and be fine, or use that money to get out. You've now burnt bridges, he's burnt bridges, it's done. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. Landlord, US, OH, I'm assuming home association thing, dealing with bad tenants. My mother-in-law owns the house next to theirs. She had a lady move in last year and has been a headache ever since. She was served a Section 8 but called to complain with a bulb. The bulb is out.
Okay.
In January, they advised her that they wouldn't be renewing the lease. In February, she told them she wanted a ramp installed because she was disabled. Because she was all of a sudden in a wheelchair, my father-in-law said it wasn't his responsibility. She called Section 8, who told her since the place did not meet her needs anymore, it would qualify her for a Section 8, and they stopped paying. He went back and forth with Section 8 and went ahead and put a ramp in. They still have not started paying again. In the meantime, she filed complaints with every agency she could, and they are facing a lawsuit. My father-in-law has documented every time she has called and said, my sink is leaking, my water heater isn't working right, the outlet isn't working, and how they fix these issues immediately. The one repairman even suggested that the damage was intentional, so they just got a phone call about a lawsuit, and the lawyer suggested that they go ahead and settle so as to not go through a lengthy, costly lawsuit. They are just now lawyering up. Just throwing it out there, if anyone has dealt with anything like this, frustratingly for me, because I do not live locally and wish I could have been involved more soon. What do you think about that? What a fucking piss take.
That is a bad tenant. Wow.
I don't understand, because here in the UK, if you don't pay your rent for 2 months, you are served a Section 21. It's as simple as that. And yes, they're probably not going to get their money, and it does take months to get someone out, but there's no... Right, so basically, if you get served a Section 21...
I think it doesn't matter in this case, because she got served a Section 8, yeah? But with that Section 8, she's now claiming disability, and that she can't do whatever she can do because she now needs a ramp. So he's now obligated to make sure that's done. But as the landlord, he's obligated to do all these things.
But my point is, here in the UK, if you go to the council and you haven't paid your rent,
yeah,
they will not help you because you have made yourself intentionally homeless. Section 8 here in the UK, I think that's a no fault eviction. I can't remember off the top of my head, but the property doesn't suit her needs either, so she needs to move anyway. It's as simple as that. But these fucking people doing this to landlords,
she hasn't moved. She's had him installed,
which
so
is
he
naughty.
does so.
But my problem is, people think just because somebody owns a property that they're renting out that they've got loads of money. It's ridiculous to think that way.
No, because at the end of the day, 9 times out of 10, that property is being paid by that tenant.
Yeah.
So if you don't pay it, that property isn't actually being paid, which
mean,
then means the owner is now
obligated to pay the mortgage.
Yeah.
And I've seen people lose.
And that's coming from where?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've seen people that working full time, paying their mortgage on their house, and then they have to try and find this money, but ultimately end up losing their second property. And it's not fair to do that to someone.
Yeah.
So top comment says, what's the lawsuit for? My understanding is that you can't deny a responsible accommodation, but the tenant is responsible for the cost of the ramp. Comment after says, the cost of the ramp and the cost to remove it upon moving out. I would have told him or her no. I would have told her that's fine, but you are responsible for paying for it and the removal per the ADA. I don't know. OP does respond and say, man, they hit them with everything. Discrimination is a big one. It's all pretty new because they were handling it up until they mentioned it today. So obviously now the parents are starting to, but somebody has put in government stuff for them so they have more of a clue. But I actually think lawyering up is that because that woman's lawyer is trying to scare them, and I think lawyering up is the best.
It's going to be lengthy.
Yeah, my in-laws are not professional landlords. They just bought a place and rented it, if that makes any sense. They're learning through the process, which clearly is a shit show.
Yeah.
I just know tenants are much more protected than landlords nowadays, and they are. I'm hoping they can get out of this mess without a ton of loss. Sad, really. They've probably put all their life savings into that.
Yeah.
And it's backfired. Go on, babe.
It's something for the grandkids, isn't it?
Yeah,
but it's not going to be, is
it's
it?
sad, man.
And while that's all covered because someone they trust or think they could trust will pay the bills and they're all going to be good, they can go and do their, retirement shit.
That's what I mean. That's what I said. Like, ultimately,
happening.
one day you want to rent out here and, go somewhere else, whatever. Remember, we were talking about all that. And even me, when we talked about making money from the podcast, I want to turn over properties and whatever and rent them out cheaper for people. But you got to fucking consider all the shit. Because if you get a bad tenant, that's it. You got to consider that even if you've got a tenant and there's no muss, no fuss for a year, they move out a year later and they've completely trashed your property. It's like starting from scratch all over again, which is...
It's scary.
Yeah, I think I've just shown everyone. So if I do, you're going to have to put a sticker up. I think I've just shown everyone my Fajita. Sorry.
She's got knickers on. Relax.
Yeah, but I don't want them to see that either.
Fine.
The crust round.
The crust.
The crust. You're welcome. Right, go on.
Right.
Are you thinking of my crust?
Yeah, on my bed. Got yelled at for asking questions.
Ellie.
Stop it. Today.
You're like,
Ugh. So today I went on the app I use to check my rent payments and noticed a $185 charged for HVAC. About a week ago, they had a guy come out. He did nothing and didn't fix anything. I called the property management company and a man answered the phone. I now know this man is the owner of said property management group. I asked him what the charge was about, and he started getting frustrated with me and told me that if I had somebody come out, I would have to pay for it. I began to explain that the HVAC guy did not complete any service and asked why I would get charged nearly $200 for that, and also was never told I would be charged. And the man started yelling, started yelling loudly at me. He told me that he would have me evicted immediately for being a smart ass. This really scared me and my girlfriend, so I told him to have a nice day and hung up. I'm upset about it and angry, but I have no idea what I can even do about it. I'll pay the charge, but how can the owner of this company, yell at somebody like that for nothing? At one point on the phone call, I said, calm down, man. And he said, I'm not your man, let's get that straight. He was just being very, very hostile and aggressive. What do you think?
I think Daddy chill. To start with. Yeah, I wouldn't pay it.
I don't think I would pay it.
I wouldn't pay it. If I haven't agreed to have work done, or right, so is this a renter?
He's
I'm
the
getting renter, so he shouldn't be paying for any work to be done anyway.
Like, so somebody has had someone come round, and then the next thing you know, he's got a charge on his rent payments.
No.
What?
No.
And when he's just inquiring what that's about, he's been like literally shut down.
No, wouldn't pay it. I need an itemised bill of what I'm paying for, and if you're having work done to your unit, I'm not paying for that. It's as simple as that. Your unit. You can't okay work and then go, oh, here's the bill.
Yeah.
To anyone ever. In any aspect of life. I can't book a trip and go, oh, Emily, I've booked a trip for us, your half is $1,000. It's weird.
Yeah. Okay.
No, you've been like,
am I coming on this trip then?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You can't buy shit and then go,
that.
Your share is £200. It's weird. Go on.
So I didn't know I invested in this.
Yeah, I feel like I didn't.
Yeah. Damn, I literally just had a HVAC guy come by yesterday, and my landlord was there waiting on the results. My landlord wanted me to pay for the inspection. I flat out told him no. While the HVAC
Heating, ventilation, air conditioning unit
guy was there, my landlord kept feeding him lines like, this is clearly from overuse. It's on all the time. They have it down to 70 in the summer. HVAC guy says we are out of Freon.
I'm assuming that's something that goes in it.
I don't know. Landlord jumps in. See, I told you that's you. I told you that you were overusing it. He's trying to set it up, isn't he? HAV guy who installed this and how long ago? Landlord explains he had a professional come out and install it a few years ago.
It's a gas.
Well, yeah, it is. It's just it's a gas cylinder thing.
It costs 160 to 1,320.
I think it depends on the size.
Depends on the system.
When in reality he had somebody he knew install it, all the coded shit, and he did some himself. HVAC guy just went off on landlord. Freon does not just go away, it's a closed loop system. These connections aren't up to code, and that's where your leak is. I'm going to have to replace this pipe. No one is even using these connections anymore since they are counter intrusive to the PSI of the system. Jesus, man, whoever installed this saved like $4 in connectors to cost you like $400 to fix this nonsense. I just went back inside at that point. Landlord wouldn't make eye contact with me when he left. I was there when he installed the HVAC. I guarantee he's going to try to raise my rent to offset this bill. Little does he know that after 12 years we are tired of his cheapness and we're buying our own home. And OP was like, OOF. I hear you. I'm going to try to reach out tomorrow and see if they can provide a receipt for the HVAC repairs. Lol, if they can't provide it, was $200. I don't know why I would pay it. Fair enough.
Right, so there's another thing. A lot of units, I believe, a lot of the time the bills are included. So him running the AC, obviously the landlord's paying for it, because otherwise how would he have any knowledge of how long he has on the AC? And furthermore, go and fuck yourself. I ain't paying for it. It's your unit, it's your AC, you pay for the repairs. That's how it works here in the UK. Yeah, no, absolutely. I wouldn't pay.
I wouldn't be paying it without a bill. With
or without a bill, I wouldn't pay it. If you give me a bill, I'm still not paying for it.
I feel having the bill would give a little bit more leeway of, right, okay, let's see where this has gone wrong.
No.
But at the end of the day, if I haven't gone, there's something up with this and I need this fixed, and someone's got someone to come in to fix it because I've used it too much.
When I lived Westcroft and I had the oven and the door fell off, right?
The door fell off.
And I went to my landlord because he owned the shop downstairs, and I said to him that I want a new oven ASAP. Doors fall off. He didn't go to me, well, you've used that oven, haven't you? At least once a day. No, he didn't. He replaced the fucking oven because it was part of the tenancy. So no, fuck off. I ain't paying anything. I hope he doesn't. Was there a top comment? Or have you moved on?
That was it.
Yeah.
That was
right.
all I got.
So I've gone for a longish one. This is my last one. Landlord. I don't know why it says US/VA. I've no idea what these things mean. But anyway, I'm starting to suspect my tenant doesn't actually live at the house he rents.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have a tenant who has been renting a condo from me for about a year with no major issues. Rent is paid on time, no complaints from the neighbours, etc.
Sounds great.
Yeah. However, as the title says, I started to wonder if he actually lives there or if he's renting it to somebody else. A few hints. Number one, we randomly run into one of the neighbours and she has never seen him at the condo once. She knew that there was a woman there, not on the lease, but had never seen the man. Number two, I had to go over for some maintenance and the tenant said he wasn't home when I knocked on the door. A high school aged boy answered the door and told me that it was his mum's house. Number three, now that I was suspicious, I started peeking around the place during some maintenance.
Oh, that's weird.
I know. During a maintenance visit, and I noticed family pictures everywhere and he wasn't in any of them. I confronted him about the people living there who aren't on the lease, and he said it's his ex and son that stay occasionally. So here's my question. What risk do I have if he's living there? As long as rent gets paid and whoever is in the house continues to be good tenants, do I care? I would think that he is the one at risk because of something were to happen at the house. He is on the lease. Any advice would be appreciated. Thanks. What do you think?
I think this man has two families and he has set one up, you know, because that's his kid, but he's got another family elsewhere, and to keep her sweet, he's making sure she's got a home.
Straight to the dark.
That's where I'm at.
I think he's subletting it.
Do ya?
Yes, I think he's earning money by having her living there. Top comment.
Go on.
That's not his ex. I bet it's his fancy woman and he's got a whole wife and kids somewhere else. Which made me laugh when you said that.
It's paid. She's a good girl. Just shut up.
Somebody else said my thoughts as well. Well, I think
we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
Here.
And then someone said, if you watch Downton Abbey, you will hear the term fancy man used. A polite way to describe people that are having sex or thinking about it outside of marriage. I don't know why they wrote that, but...
Because that's what's happening.
Everybody seems to be on the same page.
Thank you, Reddit.
But
because nobody trusts nobody anymore.
and in my head, I'm like subletting. I'm a landlord.
It is subletting, but it's not.
No, I'm a landlord.
I bet he's paying the rent and she's just paying the other bills.
The bills. Oh no, you don't mean those bills.
No, I was like real bills.
Oh, okay, and I'm
Yeah,
like
like-
bills.
You know.
Right. As long as you can live with them being there and they aren't being bad tenants and paying the rent on time, I don't see if there's any issue.
No.
Tell him that they need to be added to the residence for legal purposes, but they are welcome to stay as long as they remain good tenants. The basic
That's fair.
of knowing who they are is for emergencies such as natural disasters or fires. My guess is that she's a full-time tenant. My guess is either she has bad credit or she's been evicted or lack of adequate income or some other reason that makes it difficult for her to rent. And then someone went, there is a ton of risks, like really loud. She isn't on the lease, but now has tenancy right. That's right. She's got squatters' rights. Didn't even think of it like that. You can end his lease, but likely will have to go through an eviction to get them out. If there wasn't risk, they would have added them to the lease. It's weird that they haven't been added to the lease. And if he's got another whole family somewhere else, that would have been run on the credit check.
But it could be a case of... Oh, I don't know. I feel like...
I agree with that person. There's more to this
There definitely
than just
is.
another family. Why wouldn't he just add them?
Because then he's connected to them.
Well, wouldn't he just get her to lease the house?
Because possibly she can't.
There's
I feel
more.
like there
There's
is
more.
a bit more.
There is more. I just want to see if the OP, but I don't think OP has. I mean, someone's written an essay. Moving on.
Yeah, move on.
Yeah, no, OP hasn't said anything else, but I happen to think there's more than just he's got a fancy woman in that house. It's weird that and the other weird thing is there's no pictures anywhere, babe. That is weird. Because even if he is the fancy man, there would be pictures.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Maybe.
But that's me done for today. On to the
Fine.
last, my darling. So hot.
Weird and offensive kick out.
Oh, okay.
I was pretty stoked about getting a room to rent in.
Okay, yeah, rent in.
Rent in. Paradise, Newfoundland. A clean home with basic amenities.
Well done.
Amenities.
You said it right.
And mature, professional and emotionally stable people.
We wouldn't know what that's like.
I was... What?
We wouldn't know what it's like to be mature,
Boy,
professional.
was I naive.
Naive.
My landlady, at first I thought... My landlady. At first I thought we would get along great. We had a lot in common after all. And like myself, she seemed a bit classier than your average dope. She seemed money hungry from day one, but greed and wanting something for nothing being a common landlord trait made that much negligible. I said it.
Negligible. Yeah.
Negligible. I'm not going to say it again.
Yeah.
Or handleable. But each day progressively saw her behaviour becoming more and more erratic and her emotional state becoming increasingly unhinged.
Good times.
Yeah, innit? Sounds fun. She seemed in need of a friend, and so I attempted to befriend her at first. But as a psychology major, it didn't take long before I realised that was a bad idea. She was in lash out mode from a bad breakup that she didn't seem to be able to emotionally handle, and there were hints at money concerns as well. It made her somewhat unapproachable without running into awkward conversational bombshells that made one just want to leave. As time went by, only a matter of days in a week, she would moan and groan and loudly swear to herself, let's call her CL, as well as talking to herself and displaying all the telltale signs of paranoid schizophrenia.
Good times.
I felt genuinely bad for her. Coronavirus has already made it so there was a hiatus from starting my new job due to the old folks home I was hired in being on minimal staff, and I figured that I'd offer to pay her rent for April in advance just to help ease her mind. I also told her that due to my receiving a small amount of disability social assistance for anxiety, that I'd be in receipt of the amount of $550 rent regardless, and that it should help put her mind at ease. We just needed to draw up a rental agreement for my worker to observe. Well, the shit hit the fan. CL lost her mind. She told me I had to leave the room at the end of the month, a violation of LLTA, because once money is exchanged, they follow a rounded 3-month notice only rule, and that she didn't want to be a part of any government programs. I already have a group going on Facebook where I'm warning folks about her. Naturally, I want to leave this unhealthy environment as soon as possible, but to be kicked out 1 week in March for offering to pay rent in advance sounds a bit like tax evasion to me, and I'm beginning to think that the woman didn't actually want there to be a lease or rental agreement at all. Anyway, stay away from rooms in Paradise for the next little while if you happen to be moving to St. John's, Newfoundland area anytime soon. You'd be in for one very weird, extremely inconvenient, creepy and confusing bumpy ride.
Right. I don't know if I'm lost it. So he room for rent, he moved in,
Yep.
Landlord's a psychopath.
Basically, give me the money, but I'm not giving you a lease.
Right, so he moves out. He needs to find somewhere else to live because he can't stay there. But he don't move out until his notice period is out and his money's run out. Yeah,
That's like
so
a
you can
3
fuck
months.
off.
Yeah.
Although, if he
Do
ain't
you want to
safe,
stay there for 3 months?
I don't
while
think I
she's, like, being
would. I
crazy?
feel like he needs to get his money back. He needs to call the police or report her. Surely there's somewhere he can report her.
I feel like he could potentially do something like that.
He needs to.
I
wouldn't stay there. Saying that, I would have the red flags were going, yeah, and I would have been gone a long fucking time ago.
So one of the biggest mistakes to make is feeling sorry for your slumlords. That's rude. Who in their right mind could feel sorry for a slumlord, which means landlords that doesn't fix anything, causing health issues and anxiety.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's difficult. I've rented since I've left home, and I can't say it's been terrible. I've been very lucky with who I've rented from, but they take the piss when it comes to repairs and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, 7 years it took them to come and sort out some things where I live now, but it's done now and I can't complain. I'm not really a complainer, to be honest. I try and fix whatever the problem is myself, but there's some things I can't do. So, but other stuff, like, you know, when I needed a new boiler and that, they were excellent, super quick. So,
That's what they should be.
yeah, exactly. done. Do you know what I mean? So I do feel this boy needs out because she's clearly a fucking psychopath. But carefully does it.
Definitely.
Right.
Right.
Take care, people.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll be cooler for us next time. It's a bit of my arse cheek for you. You're welcome.
Like, follow, subscribe.
For more content, that pillow's like sweating.
Content. Chill. Bye.
Wow. What do you think of that? I think. What don't you think of that? I think that girl has got everything that she's